Welcome back. Today I'm going to be preserving pickles. I will share with you in a minute the recipe that I am using. This is the first time I've ever tried this recipe, so I couldn't tell you how good they are this way, but I want to try it. I'm going to be using lemon juice instead of vinegar. Why? Because upon research, vinegar, not necessarily apple cider vinegar, but your regular white distilled vinegar, isn't the best for the stomach. And I really want to try to incorporate food that's going to benefit me and my family the most. My sweet and loving husband, he bought me this cookbook, and I think it was last year. And I was doing some research, when I was doing my research about, vinegar, is it good for us, is it not? And I decided I don't want to have vinegar in my life as much. I mean, I guess it's not going to hurt to have it once in a while, but if I eat it a lot, like all the time, it's not going to be good on my stomach. I remembered this cookbook, and she has a lot of vinegar-free recipes. I tried finding things on the internet, but I had no success at really finding anything that didn't have sugar. I really don't like sweet pickles. Some people do, and that's great. If you want to have sweetened ones, I'm sure you can find a recipe online and put sugar in it. But for me, I don't. The only thing that I do not have for this recipe here is it calls for grape leaves. Unfortunately, I don't have any grapes. I would like to have some, but as of right now, we don't have any. And I know people who do have some, but I don't exactly have time right now to go to someone else's house to get grape leaves from them. So anyways, the recipe says that you need 4 pounds of 4-inch pickling cucumbers, which is about 48, 6 cups of distilled water or whatever kind of water you want to use, 1.5 cups of lemon juice, fresh or bottled. I'm using bottled. I'm sure fresh is better, but it's really not that cheap to buy a bunch of lemons, and this saves me time. I need something that's going to be quick. Normally I would buy the real lemon juice, but when I went to the store, this was the only one that they had there, that in a big bottle, that is. They did have little tiny bottles, and it was expensive, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money to buy a bunch of little bottles of lemon juice. Okay, and it says use 1/4 of a cup or 4 tablespoons of coarse sea salt, which I'm using the actual salt for pickling. You could use sea salt if you choose, but this is what I'm using. And it says here to use 16 to 24 heads of fresh dill or 8 tablespoons of dill seed. I prefer using the heads. These ones are kind of looking a little meh. I've picked them several days ago, and they've been sitting in a cooler. Another thing, when growing your own pickles, these things come off like crazy. You can go out there literally every other day, just about, and get pickles. And if you wait even too long, you'll wind up with gigantic pickles super fast. So you've got to be quick, or they're going to look like this. You got to make sure you stay on top of those things, otherwise they just end up being gigantic. But I picked them, put them in a cooler with ice water, because I don't have enough room in my fridge for the gobs and gobs of pickles that my pickle patch produces. So what you do is, oh yeah, you'll put this in, and I'm gonna have to get another bag, but you can get fresh garlic. And what I do is I take them out, and I'll show you here in a minute. I'll take them out and smash them with my knife, and it kind of just breaks apart the head. And then I will take my knife and just smash it on top of the garlic, just so it breaks open that papery husk on the outside, and then I'll be able to put it in the jar. The recipe says here to rinse the cucumbers, remove the stems, and then while you're doing that, you could also have mixed your water, salt, and lemon juice, and place it on the stove and bring to a boil. Then you take and place your grape leaf, if you have any, 2 to 3 heads of dill or the seed, and then you could put the 1 clove, but I'm kind of a garlic fiend, so I put like 4. If you choose to put, I mean, it's kind of based off of taste. If you don't like as much garlic as I do, then put less, but at least put 1 clove. And oh, and some of them I did put from yesterday. I did put some cayenne. You can put cayenne in there if you want to make your pickles a little spicier. So after that, you pack the cucumbers into your sterilized pint jars or quart jars, because that's what I'm using. And then you leave a 1/2 inch headspace, which means you leave about that much. You don't want to put your liquids or your pickles clear all the way up to the top of the jar. And I'll show you here in a minute when I start doing them. And then you pour the hot brine over. Wipe the rims. This is important. You need to wipe the rims and adjust. So I take a little piece of cloth with vinegar on it, because vinegar is disinfectant, so it kind of will wipe off any bacteria or anything that could be on that rim. And I just clean it off, and then I put the lid on that I've boiled on the stove. So over here I've got my spoon is about falling clear in, my lemon juice, salt, and water. So I quadrupled this recipe because I have a lot of pickles that need to be canned, and so I'm using a very big pot here. And meanwhile, I've got over here my lids. You want to boil them, disinfect them. In the oven, I have my jars. You want to keep everything nice and hot. And over here, I'm gonna go ahead and start filling this up. Okay, I've got it on my stove now, and I'm gonna bring this water to a boil, and then I'm gonna start filling my jars with the pickles, cucumbers, and garlic, and then I'm gonna start filling them with the brine. Okay, so now that I've got my garlic all peeled, I've got my dill over here, And I've got, right now I'm gonna go ahead and do the big pickles. I'm gonna go ahead and slice them because I'm not gonna be able to fit them into my jars very well if I don't cut them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut them up and put all my seasonings into my jar. Make sure when you pull your jar out of the oven, you have some oven mitts because it's going to be hot. I put it at 200 degrees and you don't want to touch a hot jar with your bare hands. Alright, I've got my lid on, so I'm going to go ahead and stick it down in here into my boiling hot water. And now I'll work on my next jar. Okay, now that I have my pot filled with 7 quarts, I'm going to go ahead and drop them down. Ow. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on on it. And looks like I need to put some more water in there because you really want to have enough to cover. Once it starts coming back to a boil, then you're gonna go ahead and put the timer on for 10 minutes. All right, guys. So I finished canning my jars of pickles, and now we're gonna go ahead and give them a try. I gave some to the kids for lunch, so they already got to try some. And seems like they didn't mind. So let's see how they turned out. It's like a pickle. It might be a little bit different, but I'd say it's really, really close. I could definitely do it like this. I wouldn't feel like I'm missing out. So, if you want to give it a try, go for it. I think they're pretty good. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. No, hey guys, welcome back. My sweet husband, he supplied this wonderful cookbook for me. Oh, that's hot. What is going on? Oh, we've got